Hello, everybody. I'm back, and my name is Brian. This is Wolf Manager 22, and we are playing with the Salisbury Whites here in Year 12, the last game of the season. I've hidden this schedule from you. The last game visible, obviously, is our 0-0 draw with Roma, which, coupled with our 1-0 win at home, put us through to the Europa Conference League finals. The RB Leipzig. And we had two remaining Premier League games to play. We had a slight advantage in terms of result. We were tied with Tottenham for the last spot in European play, and we had a better goal differential, but could we hold that? Well, our first game was against Southampton, a home game, and we beat them 4-1. A pretty solidly comprehensive win. Sergei Dudarev and Edgar Garcia both nabbed 2 goals. 2 of them came super late, so it was a close game up until the referee started adding extra time to the game. But yeah, so that put us in good shape, and I won't jump away, but Tottenham actually drew their game here. Fulham won, so we were 2 points ahead of both of them. We needed an equivalent result, functionally, and we got it. We, couldn't be beat with the 4-0 win over Brighton. Marcelino Marin got back from his injury, scored 2 goals. Dudarev and Ozan also put in a goal. So that gave us 6th place, a new personal team best. Previously, we'd been 7th last year. Our goal differential last year was plus 12. This year it's plus 20. We improved both on goals scored and goals allowed. Altogether exciting stuff. We were just 3 points back of West Ham. Still a little bit ways away from the big 4 of City and United, Chelsea and Arsenal, since Tottenham and Liverpool have fallen off a little bit from the pack. I have signed Edgar Garcia and Jordan Petkov to new contracts. They're both making a lot of money. Both have release fees now well over $100 million. So very happy about that. Look at those up arrows for Jordan Petkov. Gorgeous. Unhappy with training. What are you unhappy about, Jordan? Anyways, I'll research that later. I had Baba Uda come to me and say he doesn't think he's good enough for the team anymore, and I was going to sell him off this summer with the introduction of Dudarev to the team. He was a solid player. I think he's a decent low mid-level Premier League player. He's just not necessarily a European level player. No one's come in with him yet. We opened with kind of a high bid. Also, since we aren't into real transfer windows yet, people don't necessarily have their money for next year. And our backup keeper is making noises about wanting to play a bit more. When we got him, he was a regular part of the South African national team. Since he's been mostly just the backup here, it's kind of hurt his chances of actually making the South African national team. But he's not going to make a fuss of it, and we'll see how the goalkeeper situation develops. Here we are with our last game of the year against Leipzig, playing in Estadio Cornellà El Prat. Last time I talked about it, I'm pretty sure I mispronounced it. I was negligent in not giving my double L's that Y sound. That's so common in Spanish. Anyways, starting lineup will be Messin in goal, Petkov and Zabibi on the wings, Capun and Torres at center back, Nagankum at defensive midfielder. It could have been Maric. Unfortunately, he picked up a gash in his leg in training a couple days before. He's available, but is not recommended to start, and maybe just limited action. McAvoy and Ozan at center mid, Garcia and Juan on the wings, and Marcelino Marin up top. We are looking for a positive mentality. We want to attack. We want to put them on the back foot. And, yeah. Looks like they have made 2 changes. Antonio Blanco, their captain, whoever that is, whether they're a real person or not. Entire team's motivated. That's good. yes, I've mentioned before how I value again comes to oof. They are trying out what seems to be a different formation. I don't believe they played a 5-3-2 against us before, so that'd be interesting. It is generally what I believe to be a good counter tactic to what we try to do. We are looking to attack with a traditional 4 at the back. We're looking to attack the 5 gaps that are essentially created between the end lines in each defender. With 3/5 at the back, the math is different. There are kind of technically 6 gaps, or maybe just 4, depending on how you look at it, where the wing backs, how aggressively they push up and how good they are at getting back. It creates maybe more spaces on the edges to create crosses, while we aren't a aggressively crossing team. We are more a vertical tiki-taka possession-based attack. That was a good ball. Way too close. I don't like that pass back from Salisbury after Messon had just dove to make the save, though he didn't. Obviously, it pounced off the woodwork, so he wasn't necessarily back on his feet yet. That was a dangerous play from Zabibi after a fortunate ball with just a few inches. Ball's played forward from Marin. Unfortunately, he can't get on it. Did pressure the goalkeeper, but it looks like they had, again, with 3 center backs, they have 2 different center backs to distribute to if Marin's kind of pressuring the center back. We'll see if the 2 wingers kind of get up there and start pressuring the other 2 center backs at some point. If we move to an attacking mentality, they would do that. Good save from Messon. At the moment, I don't see a need to make that sort of move. 20th minute. Would certainly like to see more. Okay, good job by McAvoy to intercept. It is a very dangerous position there. They kind of short pseudo corner. I think I'm going to take a pause on this after this run of play and make sure that my wingers are properly calibrated into the right spot. That they are a wing back on support and a full back on attack, and not sitting back more defensively. Wing back support, full back attack. Okay, we are doing the right thing. Capoon does a good job with the header. Enter neutral space. Leguizamon. Yeah, that's more like it. With the ball out to Baku. Torres does a good job again coming in with the header. Olmo was offsides that time, and this time we are the ones who knocked the ball out. Garcia plays it back to Zabibi, up to Ozan, back to Nagankum. Ozan across to McAvoy, back to Nagankum. McAvoy plays it all the way to the outside to Juan, back to Petkov. Unfortunately, Petkov's on a yellow card. Bombs it forward to Marin. Does get the ball, unfortunately. Fires it wide. Yes, Arujo is a good player. Please mark him. Again, I'm going to lower the tempo here. I still want us to not be dribbling around. I haven't seen like any exceptional dribble runs that I want our team to make, but I do want them to be more deliberate with their passing, safer. Garcia playing it out to Ozan, making a good run, plays it forward to Marin, except Marin was offsides. It's got to be a pension where he's passing. It's bombed out, and Petkov is the one who comes away with it. Pass it up to Juan, into McAvoy, over to Nagankum, and up to Marin. To Juan, to Marin on the run. I believe he was offsides. Yes, the official raises his flag. Oh, no, it was a corner flag, not an offsides flag. Good run from Marin then. Header by Torres, who is now also on a yellow card. We have equaled XG since then. Done a better job controlling the pace of things. like the analysis that we are winning the aerial battle. Passing triangle between the center backs and the defensive midfielder. Eventually they're intercepted by them. Unfortunately, their strikers came up and eventually pressured, and we moved it out to the wing, and that's where things fell apart a little bit there. Looks like we had another attempt that didn't get converted. Bombs played forward by them to the wing. Salisbury does not do a good job of denying the defender or denying him his crossing lane. And Arujao, of course, makes a good run. Let's see. I think it's Capoon on that side. Well, they had two guys, but you got to stay with the guy making the more aggressive run. This is obviously not what you want to see in an elimination knockout, the finals. Just one game, so we will need to find a goal. As the BB will take it in, up to Garcia. Plays over the top. We're going to switch to an attacking mentality. I'm trying to look for that goal. Back up with a good header there on their cross from the corner. I think we are going to have to... It's a chancy thing, given we haven't exactly done... Oh, Marin cuts in. Oh, dude. You had the time to get it to your right foot, your stronger foot, and actually make a good attempt. So we're going to make a formation shift, essentially, here, which, again, I don't feel necessarily great about due to the fact that we haven't dominated possession by any means. But I want two strikers to maximize our opportunity to score. Udo will be played as a poacher on attack. Marin still an advance forward. Garcia's gassing out a little bit. Also hasn't had the best of days. We will go ahead and bring in Nusa for him, but we'll also shift Nusa to technically be a winger on support to make up for our another attacking player we just brought in. Still have one substitute, and now I'm going to save it for now. We'll see what we need to do, and we'll encourage the team, try and get them better motivated. Apologies if you heard the buzzing of my phone. Nusa back to Zabibi, plays it back to Capoon. They need to create some space there, which they did a poor job of, but now we're seeming to initiate a run. I have no idea what Nusa thinks he's doing there. Just, he turns, looks like straight at the defender, is like, I'll kick it straight to him. It's not ideal. We'll go ahead and bring in Hurleman for Capoon, who kind of allowed the decisive goal and just get some fresh legs in the defense. We're going to move to a very attacking mentality here. Whew. Another one off the woodwork. Dangerous. Ozan plays out to Zabibi after a good blocking effort from Hurleman there. Up to Ozan to Zabibi. Out to Nusa. You hate to see that end. We just have not had any real opportunities on ball. Good creative spots where it's passing back and forth as we work the ball up the pitch. There's a few opportunities we've created from passing it long, but they've kind of had our number. Which is, they interesting as they don't have a ton of guys forward or anything. Hit him with a demand more because I want more. This is not enough. Ozan smacks it away. But we are now into the 87th minute. Time is running out. Erjao out to Santa Maria. Good job from Messon to save. Unfortunately, that'll take it out for a corner where they can burn more time on us. Oh, well, Olmo did not sit on it forever as I would have. Suppose there is still technically plenty of time. Takahashi on a run. Pekao does do a good job of getting out on Asprilla after his initial run. Looks like, Juan just disappears Takahashi, plays him forward to Uda. Uda plays it up to Marin. Marin just squanders it, though, playing it to Uda, who isn't quite making the run he needs to make. Come on, boys. Let's find it. Takahashi making a run for the end line. Flores with the header. 3 minutes of extra time. We have a throw in here. Zabibi tosses it up to Marin. Nusa. Zabibi plays it forward, looking for Uda. Unfortunately, it's surrounded by two defenders. It's, again, just kind of exasperating. I do not have any sort of long passing on. They're supposed to be playing it short, but they, for whatever reason, just cannot. There it is. Camilo Asprilla scores his first goal of the year. I don't know why it annoys me so much when that happens, especially at the end of the year. I mean, and then the year kind of makes sense. Like, this guy scores no goals over the course of the year, and we allow a goal to him. Ugh. Ultimately, this will go down as a disappointing performance. The strikers have not been good enough, and the Silverport play either. I was sitting on 7.1, but I'm not sure exactly what for. It just feels like we have not been able to execute our game plan at all. Like I said, I've mentioned that theirs is a good formation against us, but no. Dressing room, please. After such a run to end the year, a string of good performances. Yeah, I don't really have cheery things to say about that game. Like I said, is a bit of a letdown. Certainly the additional 3.5, nearly 4, 7.5, $8.5 million is nothing to sneeze at or complain about, but it would have been nice to put our first European trophy on the mantle, even if it was just the Conference League trophy. And again, we are on such a good streak there. After this loss to Bolton in a friendly, which again was on an international window, so we were playing with a bunch of youth players mostly, and like 5 of our top 20. We didn't lose another game. Draws to Partizan and Roma in legs of competition where we'd already which allowed us to win the other legs, and just straight wins in the Premier League, including over Manchester United on the road. So, yeah, I'm going to have a think if there's a better way to attack that 5-3-2 that they run. If this is a matchup where... So I usually let the team decide essentially where we attack. If I needed to say, hey, no, we're going to play down the edges. Because with 3 center mids, 3 center backs, they're pretty well set there. But with only the wing backs covering the width, we would have had an advantage there. That's probably what I should have done. But it was just a kind of wildly disappointing second half as they dominated the ball and we created no real attempts. And they took advantage. So, congratulations to Leipzig. I am looking to sell Baba Uda. I am looking to maybe, again, take a look at what of our loanees, are any of them... Callum Monroe is such a question mark. Do I need a true right winger? Is he good enough? His technicals just don't leap off the page. He's good mentals, though. And his physicals are fine. I just don't know. But we could get a pretty penny for him, probably. The two at Morecambe aren't really content. Soucek here, it looks like he's not going to develop the way we hoped, so we might just use him as... Again, as an investment that we spent however much to bring him in, $1 million. And if we can sell him then for even 12 when he's currently valued at 18 to 24, make a profit. Ivanov, again, has just been outclassed by the combination of Petkov and Maric now. Marcos Torres, still young, still has plenty of time to develop. He, again, is listed as a right back, but he's a center back for the future, 6'7". Has gotten 13 games in for Nantes since the end of last year, since the loan out on middle of the year, and now he's playing with the Argentinian U20s. And Esteban Aguilar, you do not like to see all those down arrows. Still kind of only sitting on 2 stars. And his potential abilities kind of dropped from at least like the 4.5 it used to be to 3 and maybe a second. Again, worth a decent amount of money, but posting altogether average performances in the championship, though, anyone who plays 45 games on a championship team that's in 4th can't be terrible, even if his average rating is pretty thoroughly average. So, maybe I'll be selling off a lot of these players, maybe other than Torres, to fill out the transfer balance, since we are down to $18 million and a payroll budget of only $500,000. So to sign a single player, we need to move that up probably about there, which leaves us down to about $14 million transfer budget. I'm really wish we could get this final scout. No. If Salisbury makes a move on him, we'll definitely make a move on him. On Johansson, there's still a couple question marks. He doesn't have the aerial reach I'd like, even though he's 6'1". Again, maybe that'll develop. But when we bring up his recommendations, 2.5, he is listed as a Premier League standard player who could improve a lot. And the scout does have him listed above Messon in terms of what they believe his ability to be. So I think when I looked at their attributes, it's much closer than you think. But again, the developmental space that Johansson might have might be worth it to try and get our top level keeper. I guess we're looking at this guy as another keeper, just 17. I'd like to see another center mid for the developmental purposes. Doyle is on his way out. Already got his transfer arranged. Thomas Green is looking for more playing time. He is a solid player, but nothing exciting at this point. And, we just want to try and find world beaters to find the next superstar. So we want to kind of find somebody new to fit behind the rotation of McAvoy, Ozan, and Cekatani. I feel like the defense is pretty good. I still wouldn't complain about getting a true center back who can go. Gonna have to figure out how to play together Dudarev and Marin next year. As I noted in my tactics, I created a second tactic that is just kind of an inverted version of my first tactic, flipped between left-right. And so in this formation here, we can play Dudarev as inside forward here on the right. Usually in this formation it's here, and then play Marin up top. The left winger situation is a bit awkward. Like Noose is either footed, but it's not really his jam. I mean, his crossing is good enough. His passing is only at 10, I suppose. He's probably better inside forward than he is winger. One's in the same boat, though one is even less trained at the position, but one might be even better as a winger. So, if we could find, another flexible player instead, and a younger one, Noose is 28, Juan is 25. Ancient, I know, ancient. But yes, I am always about the youth movements. And Garcia, unfortunately, doesn't really play a good spot in this version. And we just gave him a big payday. So those three will have to work. We always want two of those three on the pitch, of Garcia, Dudarev, and Marin. And then one complimentary player. So, thank you very much for joining me for this 12th year of Salisbury FC. I kind of laid out my plans for the next off-season, and I will attempt to execute them. I will be back with you in a couple of days in real life and a couple of months in-game to go over what I've done over the summer to help us prepare for the Europa League proper, as well as, again, trying to make the next jump up into Champions League play and to possibly test the top levels of the English Premier League. So, thank you so much for joining me. Please don't hesitate. Like, comment, subscribe. Do all of those delightful things. And have a nice day. Bye.